about 1 year ago, while up late on a Saturday night, I came across a truth that I'd never known before, and my life was never the same again. I realized that I had been contributing to an industry that causes about 9 million deaths per year according to the US government and is responsible for high amounts of environmental damage. You must be thinking, oh, I've heard this one before. Is it driving a car, drinking alcohol, throwing away plastic, maybe even taking a shower? No, none of those things. Not what we've heard in elementary school. It's the animal agriculture industry, meat, dairy, and eggs. The news was shocking to me. It just couldn't be true. It must be a conspiracy, I thought to myself. But the more I went digging into information, the more credible things I found that support this. So there's only one thing I could do. I could no longer support the animal agriculture industry. I'll go into how I pulled that off, but for now, let's talk about all of us. Everyone in this room pays the price for animal agriculture. We pay the price when we pay our medical bills and when we pay taxes to fix the environmental damage caused by agriculture. We also pay an ethical price. Animal agriculture causes great devastation to the planet, to our health, and to the animals and people that are a part of it. So now I'll discuss the research as to why plant-based agriculture is better than animal agriculture for the planet, for our health, and why it's important to consider the animals and what you can do about it. So animal agriculture has had detrimental effects on our health. Everyone here wants to live long and happy lives, but we can't do that if we don't eat healthily. According to a report from the World Cancer Research Fund and the American Cancer Institute, red and processed meat leads to increased rates of colorectal cancer and dairy to increased rates of prostate cancer. But on the flip side, the phytochemicals needed to protect our cells is found in fruits and vegetables. In another journal published by the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, found that animal product consumption has led to high blood pressure, high levels of heart disease, and high levels of cholesterol. So as you can see, animal agriculture and consuming its products has had grave consequences on our health. But did you know it's much bigger than that? Animal ag is also devastating the planet. Everyone here wants to live on a green and bountiful planet, but we can't do that if we don't reverse climate change. Over the last year alone, many of us have been affected by the extreme weather caused by climate change, flooding, fires, and blizzards. The cost of damage to the environment is on our generation's shoulders. And food systems, primarily animal ag, is responsible for at least 19% of all greenhouse gas emissions. In a study produced by Nicole Blackstone, published in The Lancet, studied 3 diets, healthy US, Mediterranean, and the vegan diet. They were explored on their effects on land use, water use, freshwater, and saltwater pollution. The healthy vegan diet patterns produced a 42 to 82% less effect in all categories except water depletion, which was about the same for all 3. This just means that plant-based diets are more sustainable than animal-based diets. Finally, cow's milk is one of the most unsustainable products ever in terms of water usage and land usage. Plant-based milks use at minimum 40% or more less water and land than that of cow's milk, according to the University of Oxford. There are many other impacts to the environment, and I encourage you to do your own research. But we'll move on to our last need, morality and ethics. So animal agriculture violates a human value of kindness to animals and violates their right to live. Everyone here has a moral agency, which means we desire to live ethically according to our nature. Many of us call ourselves animal lovers as well. However, we can't live ethically if we rescue some animals and take them home to be a part of our family, yet butchered parts of other animals live inside our fridges. These animals are the victims. They are used and exploited for their flesh and secretions without their consent. Our so-called free choice to buy these products is their prison, and it's not necessary for their survival. There's no way for me to cover it all, but let me go into one animal that we exploit on a daily basis. dairy cows. Not everyone considers them. Dairy cows are much like us. They carry their young for 9 months, and just like we do, and they only produce milk for these babies. So in order for us to take their milk, the calves must be separated from the mother. Male calves are slaughtered for veal, and female calves grow up to be dairy cows. These cows only live 4 to 6 years in these factories, but they're meant to live 20 in real life. After they are considered spent, they are slaughtered. So as you can see, the dairy industry is a cruel one, just like all of animal agriculture. We separate mother and child at birth, we clip off beaks and tails without anesthetic, and finally we end their miserable lives with a knife to the throat, a taser to the head, or by suffocation. Besides animal victims in agriculture, there are thousands of human victims. According to a real story of a slaughterhouse worker, the speed of the factory line is more important than the safety of workers. These workers, among all different types of factory workers, have the highest amounts of injury, including missing fingers, cuts, and PTSD. The meat industry also takes advantage of immigrant labor. There's a reason that we take first graders to apple orchards and not to slaughterhouses. We suffer when we see the truth. So I just went over the 4 effects of animal agriculture. I will now talk about what you can do to lessen these effects and make your lives better. Animal agriculture exists because we demand that it exists with our wallets. So one thing you can do as an individual every single day is to stop buying and consuming animal products. This is what I have done. I have become vegan, which means to eliminate all animal products, meat, dairy, eggs, and other byproducts, in exchange for a fully rich diet full of plants. That seems like a hard change, but it's actually quite simple and easy. You can start today. All I did was increase the number of plants I ate each day, a diet filled with beans, vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. There also exists a substitute for every food you can think of. I still have all my favorites: pizza, ice cream, and tacos, all with a few simple swaps. Another way that you can help is being a voice by the voiceless. You can do this through activism through an organization. I recommend supporting the organization Anonymous for the Voiceless. According to their website, they engage in street activism in a non-violent and informative way by showing footage of what happens in the animal ag industry. Volunteers engage passerby with their questions, and doing this work will help build your confidence in those of you who want to be active with the issue of animal rights. So I have given you the ways you can directly stop the impacts of animal ag, but I understand it's easier said than done. I felt the same way. But imagine living more compassionately for yourself, for the animals, and for the planet. So I hope this inspires you in some way. I've been vegan for nearly a year and have experienced the benefits from day one. I'm in better health, have a clearer conscience, and feel more connected to the planet. You also have the power to become vegan. You get to decide 3 to 4 times a day whether you support these industries. Choose plants instead of animals. Compassion over cruelty, and speak up. It's that simple.